Hello, my name is Whisperheimer, and today I will be presenting on building a cafe. My cafe would be small, preferably in a renovated restaurant or in a renovated house. It would specialize in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and pastries with a coffee, tea, and hot cocoa bar. It would cater to the basic needs of the people that came and would probably attract students and introverts. Success would be measured on customer ratings, satisfactions, and if we break even or even if we profit. The mission of this cafe would be to serve people quality, tasty food in an environment of comfort and rest. To get to this end, we would have 5 different rooms with different decors and different seating types. It would be more of a hodgepodge building, but it would contain 5 main rooms. The entrance, which would have a cafe-like atmosphere with music, lots of people, and the bar, and it would also be the entrance and exit to both the building and the kitchen. The second spot would be the patio. The patio would cater to people who are walking or for people with animals. It would be very similar to the entrance in the fact that it would have music and would be an open environment for anybody to come and relax. The last 3 places would all be very similar, but they'd be set apart. The first one would be a study area. It would be quiet and have noise machines to make sure that it could maintain that peace. Another spot would be a relaxation space. This space would be in an attic area or at the back. It would have plants, a fountain, and sunshine. The color of the walls in this room would be more hues that would make people calm, such as blue or green, whereas the study area would have more exciting colors, such as red or orange. The last space would be a workspace. This one would be quieter than the cafe area, but would be louder than the study area. It would still have the bright colors, but it would be arranged for groups of people to come and sit down with tables instead of individual work areas. Information systems that would be needed to make this business run would be a costs and overhead. The costs that would have to be calculated would be things like decor and the outside area. There would also have to be something for purchasing versus revenue. This is the purchasing of the food and the revenue brought in after it's been created and distributed. There would have to be a disaster plan in place to make sure that if anything goes wrong, such as a pipe breaking, that we would have an idea of how to proceed without costing a lot of extra money. We would need a place to keep all of our recipes and to ensure that we have new ones as necessary. Then we would need a marketing campaign, because the only good way to have a business is to have it marketed to the people that you're trying to get in. I think this would best be done with Facebook to start, and then as the cafe expands and grows, to add in new types of things based on our revenue sources. The layout of the information technology would be things like the Wi-Fi. There would have to be a router in each of the main rooms and in the office area that would be necessary for bookwork. There would have to be a computer to keep track of all of the different systems that are going on, and it would be a good place to have backups of things like recipes and our profits. We would need a tablet at the front to be able to keep track of people's expenses and to order food to the kitchen. It would be helpful if this is also how they pay, and it'd be cheaper in the long run. All of the operating systems would run off of Windows, because Windows is fully integrated into most systems, is easy to use, and comes with a free trial of Microsoft Word, which would allow us to keep track of all of our expenses without having to buy an extra program at first. We would require at least 2 working telephones on premises because we need to be able to place calls and receive them in case something goes wrong with one of them. For marketing, again, we would use social media to start, but then as the cafe grows and prospers, we would be able to add in new techniques such as going out door to door or putting out pamphlets, or we could even send out coupons. For the decor, This one would not need to be simply laid out. It would be hodgepodge, so we could just go to any old store and pick up at least 1 or 2 pieces of furniture. The idea behind this is that each person finds something different that's comfortable. Whereas some person might like something that's more squishy, somebody else might like a harder surface. And the last system that we would need to make sure was in place was the fire alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. This is important because it's often built into the building and is helpful in an emergency. Future considerations for this business would include things like streamlining our orders and our payments. This could be as easy as adding in a second tablet, or it could be as complex as making sure that we have a new system in place that allows people to order online from their phone, or allows somebody to order before they get in. It would also be helpful if we added tablets to each of the rooms. At the beginning, it would be expected that we would have different waiters to bus the tables and to deliver food, and they could also pick up orders. But in the future, it'd be easier and more cost-effective if people could order from a tablet and expect their food to get to them in a timely fashion. Another consideration would be a larger selection of food. It is really nice to make sure that things are homemade, but sometimes people like different things. In the future, we could add in a more tailored menu to the people that are more of our regulars, or we could add in more items that happen during a specific season. Another future consideration would be adding in more rooms. If one room is highly popular and often overbooked, then we could get another room of that same feature, or we could ask the clientele if they have any ideas for new rooms to expand. One of my favorite considerations would be working with local farmers. I think it's really important that we help out the local community, and while it would be more expensive in the long run, it would benefit our community and make us look like we were doing our best to be partners. In summary, I think that this is a great idea because everybody needs to eat, but comfort will draw people. And we have a large segment of the population which is ignored because they are introverted or students. I think that this cafe could attract those people, and they wouldn't feel as forgotten. Besides, sometimes we have to work somewhere other than home. My reflections on this project are that I do have some doubts. There is a price versus profit and a lot of costs associated with such a large restaurant. You would have to have a large number of people in at all times to be able to keep up with that and actually make a profit. Also, we would be competing with larger coffee chains and with restaurant chains. This is hard because they have a larger marketing venue and they have more people that already know about their brand. However, I do still think that this is a really wonderful idea, and when I was younger, it would be somewhere that I would have wanted to go. So, if I were able to have this opportunity and to be able to make that leap, would I try? Yes. Thank you for listening.